Let's talk about Iran. Hey gang, this is Mike with MrNoFluff.com, and as you've been watching the news, America and major other countries that have central bankers, their economics are in major trouble. So let's look at the information. One, in the US, we have major debt. Okay? Two, in the US, manufacturing has decreased. Okay? In the US, inflation is skyrocketing. Okay? Now, a quick example is, guys, in 1910, a movie ticket cost 10 cents. In 1970, a movie ticket cost $1.55. In 2019, the same movie ticket costs $13.76, guys. And these are just the average, and I challenge you to Google it yourself. So inflation is killing Americans. Now, most Americans think that inflation is normal. This is the way it should be. But let me tell you, this is not the way it should be. Inflation is a hidden tax. They're robbing the working class. They're robbing the middle class. And there was a time in America when you had $1 million in your banking account and you could live off that money easily. Today, if you have $1 million in your banking account, you're actually losing money month after month due to inflation. So we have debt at all-time high. We have manufacturer at all-time low. We have inflation at all-time high, guys. Okay. Now we have in the debt, we have the governments in debt. We have the corporations in debt. We have the people in debt. So we're looking pretty bad. Now, if you look at what's going on in the politics, America, the US dollar is about to be dethroned. And I'm not saying this because I'm happy about it, but that is the facts, in my opinion, that if you look at how much things cost in 1970 or 1970 or 10 to 2019, you can see that your dollar is worth less and less and less and less and less. You really can't buy much stuff with a dollar today. Okay? Back in the days, you could go to the movies with just 10 cents. Now, if you look at around the politics, you can see that because our economy is in such a bad shape, we need enemies. We need bad guys. Okay? We need bad guys to take the pressure off what's happening at home. So who are the bad guys right now? Well, we have bad guys like immigration. You know, we got to build the wall. We're fighting against immigrants. These poor immigrants are stealing our jobs, right? That's what the theory is, which is BS, guys. Immigrants that come here are not stealing jobs. They're actually making America great again. The problem is that the way our laws are made, the way our tax havens are made, that all the big corporations are outsourcing or moving their factories to other countries to pay the least money in labor, to pay the least money in taxes, to have the lowest production rate, therefore has caused the American manufacturer to decrease, guys. Okay? And now, so the bad guys are immigrants, the bad guys is Venezuela, right? And most importantly, Iran. Okay? Now, we need to have enemies because the stock market is down. Okay? Inflation is high. Debt is high. We're on the verge of the empire collapsing. We're fighting wars. Wars are up. We're fighting wars everywhere. Now, so we need to have some bad guys that the people can rally against the flag and, you know, forget about the problems that they're having with so much debt. Forget about the problems that they can't find jobs. Forget about the problems that real estate is a massive asset bubble. Okay, there's so many bubbles. Okay, so which is 7 is massive bubbles. We have real estate, we have stocks, bonds, debt, so on and so on, guys. So many assets there. So therefore, we need a war. We need enemies. If we don't have war, well, the people will guess what? uprise, civil unrest. Same thing happened in France. Look at France. For 6 months straight, these guys are protesting against their government. These are not refugees. These are not immigrants. These are the citizens of their own country with college degrees that can't pay life because of inflation. So now, to take the people's mind shift away of how bad the economy is and how in trouble we are because of our rules and regulations and, you know, all the outsourcing that's happened in big corporation, and we need bad guys. So now we have immigrants. That's why we're building walls, and now that's why we have Venezuela and we have Iran. Now we need these two people, the Venezuelan and Iran, because they have something that we want in America, which is, in a sense, better than money, because money is fake. They have natural resources. Okay, Iran and Venezuela, if you add them up together, they have more natural resources than many other countries in the world, guys. So that's, you got to think about it. We're in one of the most world economics crashes since the 1930, and doesn't it make sense that we need enemies? I mean, think about it. We need enemies to take the people's mind off what's really happening at home. Inflation, job losses, asses are getting too expensive. People can't buy houses no more. And so we need a collective enemy to focus our attention to. At the same time, because of our situations of massive debt production, because in Wall Street in America, we only do two things really good. We create debt instruments like mortgage-backed securities, like so many other stuff, and we produce debt. So that's the only thing we're good in America anymore. We don't have the best car production anymore. We don't have the best house production anymore. We don't have the best IT companies. We don't have that stuff. There's competitors everywhere, and all the companies that are, like for example Apple, they're not making their stuff in America. They're making it in China, guys. So the situation is that the empire is on the verge of collapse. The empire dollar is sinking like crazy. We're fighting wars after wars. So we need some countries' resources, which happens to be Iran and Venezuela. We need this. You heard the B team, Bowden, say, hey, we need to take these natural resources from these countries. So we need these natural resources. And here's the other thing, guys. Because the markets are on the verge of massive crash, and because we have tariffs, okay, and tariffs are going up, it's just making an exhalation of crash, okay? So now we need war, because there are companies like Boeing, Lockheed Martin, and so many of the big companies that they make all their money when your friends and family go die as soldiers to fight endless wars for central bankers. So guess what? In this new war that we're about to send 500,000 or 1 million or 250,000 soldiers, friends of mine, friends that I went to high school, college, now about to go to war. We're not going to war because we want to push democracy. We're not want to go to war because we have the right way of doing business or we have the best ethical values. No. We're going to war because Lockheed Martin, because Bell, they are going to make some serious money, guys. And guess what? These companies buy out the politicians, the lawmakers, with, guess what? With money. How did they do that? Let's think about it. How did the corporations buy the lawmakers? Think about it. By bribing them, right? They have people that have special names. They go out there and they bribe and they buy and they fund politicians' campaigns so they can get reelected. So in essence, Boeing, Lockheed Martin, the Warhawks, guess what? They are going to make massive money when we go to war, guys. And at the same time, it helps America forget about the problems we're facing in America, which is the collapse of the dollar. The market are just sinking. Okay, massive debt. Okay, so because of all these problems, now we need wars. We need to forget about the real problem that's happening in America, where the U.S. petrol grip is losing its power. The U.S. reserve currency is losing its power. The U.S. bullying every country in the world is losing its power. Even our allies like Germany, like Great Britain, like UK, are having a second thought of our bullying tactics. So the situation is America's in deep trouble, in very deep trouble. We're fighting so many different wars, from Afghanistan to Iraq, so many different places. We're bullying so many people, and it all ties down to because we're going belly up. Okay, now they don't want to talk to it. Who's they? NBC, CNN, Fox. They're not going to tell you the truth, man, because the truth of the fact is there's a handful of corporations that own all the news channels, all the TVs, Disney, the movie makers, the radio stations, the cable companies, the internet. So these corporations have a vast interest in manipulating and controlling not only your thoughts and your emotion, but also the lawmakers, because big corporations, right, are only here to make money, and they don't give a fuck about you, and neither does politicians. They don't give a fuck about you. Politicians will just want to get reelected, and big companies, they just want to get more money. They don't care that they're going to automate the system. They don't care that jobs are going to Mexico. They don't care that jobs are going to China. They don't care that people are graduating college with $50,000 in loans and they can't get a job. They don't care about that. What they care about is profits, profits, profits. And here's the funny thing. Soon, these big corporations are not going to be able to make a profit because, guess what? The workers that buy the big corporations' items are broke. They're leveraged out in debt. Inflation is killing them. Jobs have not increased in salaries compared to inflation. And there's major problems coming up ahead in America. And we need war. We need war and war. I mean, the war hawks need war, because war is money. War equals power. War equals control. So they don't care about you. They don't care about me. This is just my opinion. And if they did care about us, then they would stop the tariff wars, because tariff will eventually equal to war. Okay? And tariffs means you and me, we're going to pay more money. It doesn't mean that China's going to pay money. I don't care what the president says. The truth of the fact is that tariffs punish you and me by spending more money. One great example is, guys, I just bought something on Amazon. It was a tea maker, and the price was about $40 or something. And then on this last Friday, when Trump increased the tariffs by 25% on China's goods, I came back on Amazon to order the same exact pot for my mom, and it had gone up by 25%. Which is crazy. It was like Trump just announced it on Friday. On Saturday, when I tried to order the same exact item, it had gone up 25% since just a couple of days ago than I ordered it. So, guys, who does the tariff really impact? Me and you. Big corporations just pass it along. Big governments are making the money, and you and me are the ones that are going to get squeezed more. We're getting squeezed on the tariffs. We're getting squeezed on inflation. We're getting squeezed on massive printing of money, what we call EQ. And so, end of the day, America's in serious big trouble. Not only America, many of the countries that subscribe to central bankers are in serious trouble, like Great Britain, like Germany, like France, like Italy. And the story goes on, like Canada. Guys, Canada's in such a major inflation. My brother just came from Canada, and in an average home over there, people living in just like a single townhouse, $1 million for a freaking townhouse, guys, in a highly populated area. We're not talking about 10,000 square foot or anything. We're talking about 1,500 square foot for $1 million. So we're in a serious trouble in America. We're in serious trouble in other countries, and this crash and this this is going to want to be the biggest economic crash in my opinions, and we're trying to do everything we can to hit the brakes, and we have to go to war to eliminate that, because war will unite us. Will make us forget about the economics, makes us forget about paychecks, makes us forget about getting a higher job, makes us forget about college, makes us forget about debt, forget about economics, because we're so worried that Big Brother is protecting us that we'll do whatever they say. Guys, if you like this video, go ahead and click the like button. Let's share this message. By the way, guys, in my opinion, 2019, it's going to be the best time to get in real estate. This is not financial advice. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. 2019 is the best time to get in real estate, not because real estate is going to go up and up right now. No, because real estate is in a massive crash, and there's going to be tons of motivated sellers out there that are willing to sell you their home at 60 cents on a dollar, or they're going to be willing to sell their home by just letting them take over their payments, guys. We're in a major hurts coming. CNN, NBC, Fox, Big Brother, the Federal Reserve, bankers are now letting you know about it. And in this next fall, everyone bless us, because your greedy banker, your local banker, is going to go into your savings and bail in on our money because of risky investments they made through derivatives, to all this crazy debt instruments they create for themselves, to letting big corporations have 0% interest rate loans so they could buy their stocks, so on, guys. And so war is coming, or very close to it. And like I predicted, we're going to see gas prices about $9 a gallon, okay, or close to it. And there is a major push for war, because we're on the verge of collapse. Thanks for watching, guys. Click the like button. Let me know what state you're in, and let me know if you own any Bitcoin. Peace.